Wow, so here we are. Mark Carney has arrived in India. And just a year ago, this trip would have been impossible. Canada and India weren't talking. And now Mark Carney is on the ground in India. This visit is about trade as much as it is symbolic for survival in a changing global economy. This visit comes down to three things. First, the reset, a hard diplomatic break now stitched back together. Second, money and opportunity, energy, uranium, trade diversification, and life beyond US tariffs. And third, risk, guardrails, security, and foreign interference, and if quiet diplomacy really works. Let's dive right in. This visit is historic because of what almost killed the relationship. Canada accused India of links to violence on Canadian soil. That shattered trust. Diplomacy collapsed and embassies froze. Dialogues stopped altogether. It felt it was beyond repair. And honestly, for most of us Canadians, it left a bad taste. And yet, here we are today. Carney landed in Mumbai, then head to New Delhi, meeting Narendra Modi face to face. Indian media calls it a reset. Canadian officials call it normalization. Same idea, different words. But what matters is the tone. This time, no megaphones, no public confrontations, instead quiet rooms and private meetings. And result-oriented, skilled diplomacy. That alone is a significant shift from the past. Under Justin Trudeau, disputes were public far too quickly. Carney is doing the opposite. And India is responding. Because India is a modern country and it's not waiting around. India is in demand. Leaders from Europe, Asia, and the Pacific are lining up, giving what Carney wants to achieve. Canada can't afford to stay outside the conference room. Now let's talk about why this trip really matters for both countries. Money, jobs, and markets. The United States has become unreliable for Canada as well as for India. Tariffs, threats, policy swings driven largely by Donald Trump's impossible economics. Canada learned a hard lesson, and so did India. Overdependence is dangerous, so Ottawa is hunting for alternatives. And India is a big market. India is now the fourth largest economy in the world and still growing fast. Still urbanizing and very much in need for energy. Well, Canada has what India needs: oil, natural gas, critical minerals, and most of all, uranium. India's nuclear program is expanding fast with clean, base load power and long-term planning. Canadian uranium fits perfectly into that picture. There's serious talks of multi-year uranium supply agreements, not meaningless Trumpian-style press releases, but actual contracts. And here's the kicker. Canada is the only G7 country without a preferential trade deal with India. The UK has one, the EU has one. We don't. That's a competitive disadvantage, and Carney wants to change that. Faithful trade within a political neutral framework could be the bridge to a desired outcome. For both countries, that is as much about diversification as it is about scale and stability. Both countries were burned by Trump's erratic trade policies, but can find common ground now. But here's where things get uncomfortable. The security issue hasn't disappeared. Canadian police have warned Indian activists of credible threats. Intelligence agencies remain cautious. And the World Sikh Organization of Canada isn't buying the reset narratives. They flat out reject claims that India has stopped transnational repressions. Meanwhile, Ottawa says safeguards are in place. But what does that mean? Well, we don't know that. So what changed? Former NDP leader Tom Mulcair put it bluntly. Public humiliation doesn't work. But quiet pressure and sincere talks do. We've seen it before with China. Public blaming led nowhere. Private diplomacy, however, delivered results. Not perfection, but a base we can work on. Carney is betting the same approach works in India. That engagement produces leverage, where isolation just produces headlines and nothing else. Is it risky? Yes. But is staying frozen risk-free? Absolutely not. So Canada still has to protect its citizens. Yes, absolutely. No one is suggesting otherwise. But trade, diplomacy, and security aren't separate lanes. In the real world outside of Washington, they intersect. And Carney's reputation helps very much. When he walks into a room, people know his name, because out of respect, not amusement. Markets trust him, governments listen. That gives Canada leverage it didn't have before. So let's sum this up. This trip is not about forgetting the past. It's about managing the future. Canada needs new markets, and India needs what we have. Both are tired of US unpredictability and incompetence. Both want diversification. Both see opportunities, and there is an expectation on both sides that real trade deals will be signed at the end of this visit. But trust is fragile, and security concerns don't disappear because trade deals are signed. This visit isn't the real test. That's what follows. Do the guardrails hold? Do quiet diplomacy deliver the desired outcome in this case as well? That's the gamble. Now I want to hear from you. Is Mark Carney right to reset relations with India now? Or is Canada moving too fast and risking too much? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this conversation matters to you, share this video. If you want more straight talks from a Canadian perspective, please like and subscribe. It helps YouTube that people want to watch this content, because the world is changing fast and Canada doesn't get to sit it out. Thanks for watching. I'm Wilfried Lemkuller with Europe Curious. See you in the next one.